Welcome to this IELTS Listening Practice Test. This test contains 40 questions divided into 4 sections and is designed to help you prepare for the IELTS listening exam. Please make sure you have your answer sheet, pen or pencil ready before the test begins. You will hear each recording once only. There will be time for you to read the questions before each section begins. The answers will be provided at the end of the complete test. Please follow the instructions carefully and write your answers. We wish you the very best of luck. You will hear 4 recordings and answer questions based on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions before each section begins, and you will also be given time to check your answers. All recordings will be played once only. The test is divided into 4 sections. Write your answers clearly and carefully follow the instructions for each question. Now turn to section 1. You will hear a conversation between a customer and a receptionist at a cooking school. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon, Greenfield Cooking School. How can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to register for your weekend cooking course.
Certainly. First, can I take your name?
It's Ethan Walker.
Sorry, did you say Evan Walker?
No, Ethan Walker. E-T-H-A-N.
Thank you. And how old are you?
I turned 29 last month. Well, actually, I'm nearly 30, but 29 at the moment.
Great. Could I have your phone number?
Sure, it's 07123458976.
Let me check that. Was that 07123459876?
No, it's 07123458976.
Thanks. We offer beginner, intermediate, and advanced courses. Have you done any cooking classes before?
I attended a short workshop years ago, so I first thought the beginner course might be best. But after reading the course description, I'd prefer the intermediate level.
No problem. The next course starts on the 10th of September.
I won't be available then. Is there another one?
Yes, the following course begins on the 17th of September.
Perfect. I'll take that one.
That is the end of questions 1 to 5. You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
May I ask why you're interested in the course?
Some people join because they want to become professional chefs, and a few even start food businesses. For me, it's simpler. I want to learn how to prepare healthier meals at home.
That's a popular reason. We run classes in the morning, afternoon, and evening.
I originally wanted the morning session, but I usually work weekends. The evening classes finish too late, so the afternoon session would suit me best.
Afternoon it is. Students normally bring a notebook for taking notes, although that's optional. We provide all ingredients. The only thing you'll need is an apron.
That's easy enough.
How would you like to pay? We accept cash, debit cards, and online transfers.
I was going to bring cash, but using my debit card will be more convenient.
Certainly. Finally, how did you hear about us? Through social media, perhaps?
No, I don't use social media much. I saw an article in a magazine, but that's not actually how I found you. A colleague at work recommended the course.
Excellent, you're all registered.
Thank you very much.
That is the end of section 1. Now turn to section 2. You will hear a talk about the facilities at Greenfield Community Centre. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Greenfield Community Centre. Before you begin using our facilities, I'd like to explain what is available and where everything is located. Many visitors come here to study or simply enjoy a peaceful environment. For that purpose, the library is the most suitable place. Although the garden is also fairly quiet, the library is specifically designed for reading and research. Community groups often need a space for discussions and events. The meeting room is regularly used for local club meetings, training sessions, and workshops. If you would like something to eat or drink, you'll find a variety of refreshments in the cafe. Some visitors mistakenly go to the garden area expecting food services, but those are only available in the cafe. People interested in technology often use the computer room, where digital skills classes are held throughout the week. Creative activities such as painting, drawing, and craft sessions take place in the art studio. The sports hall, by contrast, is reserved for physical activities.
That is the end of questions 11 to 15. You now have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
Now let's look at the map. You are currently standing at the main entrance. The reception is immediately to the left in Area D. The cafe is opposite reception in Area E. The large sports hall is located in Area A at the northern end of the building. Those looking for the library should go to Area B. Finally, the computer room can be found in Area C, next to the library. The outdoor garden area is marked as G and is accessible throughout the day. Thank you for listening.
That is the end of Section 2. Now turn to Section 3. You will hear a discussion between two students and their tutor about a research project on sustainable transport. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25.
Good afternoon, Maya and Ryan. Thanks for coming in today. I'd like to discuss your progress on the Sustainable Transport Project.
Good afternoon. We've completed most of the background research and started analysing the survey results.
Yes, we collected responses from students, staff members, and local residents.
That's good to hear. How many responses did you receive in total?
We were hoping for around 150, but we actually received 182 completed surveys.
That's an excellent response rate. Which method of transport was the most popular among participants?
At first, we thought public buses would be the most common choice, because they're relatively inexpensive.
However, the survey showed that cycling was the most popular option among students.
Interesting. What reasons did they give?
Most people mentioned lower costs and environmental benefits.
Several respondents also liked the flexibility of travelling whenever they wanted, without having to follow bus or train schedules.
Some participants talked about health benefits, but that wasn't one of the main reasons. Nobody suggested that cycling was faster than every other form of transport.
That's interesting.
That is the end of questions 21 to 25. You now have some time to look at questions 26 to 30.
Were there any findings that surprised you?
Yes, we expected parking availability to be the biggest concern for car users.
But the main issue turned out to be traffic congestion, especially during the morning rush hour.
That's a useful finding. Let's talk about your presentation. Have you decided how to divide the work?
I was originally planning to present the survey methodology,
And I was going to explain the findings.
but after discussing it, we've decided that I'll present the research findings, while Ryan will explain the methodology and data collection process.
That sounds reasonable. What visual materials are you planning to use?
We considered creating a short video.
We also thought about designing a poster.
In the end, we've chosen to use graphs and charts because they present the data more clearly.
I agree, that's probably the best option. Have you encountered any difficulties during the project?
The literature review was straightforward.
The biggest challenge was actually getting enough participants to complete the survey before the deadline.
That's a common problem with research projects. Finally, when will you submit the written report?
We first considered submitting it on the 18th.
Then we thought the 20th might be more realistic.
But we've now agreed to submit it on the 22nd of November.
Excellent. That gives you enough time to proofread everything. Well, it sounds like you're making very good progress. I look forward to seeing your presentation next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for your advice.
That is the end of section 3. Now turn to section 4. You will hear part of a lecture about urban green spaces and their impact on modern city life. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to discuss the role of urban green spaces and their impact on modern city life. As cities continue to expand, planners are increasingly recognizing the importance of preserving natural environments within urban areas. To begin with, let's define what we mean by urban green spaces. Many people immediately think of large public parks. Others might include community gardens or nature reserves. In recent years, attention has also been given to tree-lined streets, green walls, and green rooftops. Although parks remain the most visible example, smaller green areas can provide significant benefits as well. Historically, public parks became increasingly common during the 19th century. Some people mistakenly associate their development with the 20th century because many modern parks were expanded during that period. However, the initial movement began much earlier, during the 19th century, when industrialization caused urban populations to grow rapidly. Urban planners recognized that overcrowded living conditions were negatively affecting public health. One major benefit of urban green spaces is their positive effect on physical health. People who live near parks are more likely to engage in regular exercise. Researchers have examined various activities, including walking, jogging, cycling, and outdoor sports. Interestingly, earlier studies suggested that access to sports facilities was the most important factor influencing activity levels. However, more recent evidence indicates that access to green spaces may be equally important. Green spaces also contribute significantly to mental well-being. Researchers have linked time spent outdoors to lower stress levels, improved concentration, and better overall mood. Some studies have focused on depression, while others have examined general happiness. However, among university students, one frequently reported benefit is a reduction in anxiety, particularly during examination periods. It is worth remembering that the quality and accessibility of a green space are often just as important as its size. Urban green spaces also provide environmental benefits. Trees and vegetation absorb carbon dioxide and improve air quality. In addition, they can reduce noise pollution and support local wildlife habitats. Another important function is temperature control. Many cities experience what is known as the urban heat island effect. Buildings, roads, and concrete surfaces absorb and retain heat, causing temperatures to rise. Green spaces help counter this problem by lowering surface temperatures. Green spaces can strengthen social connections within communities. Parks often provide venues for festivals, sports events, and informal gatherings. Community gardens are particularly valuable because they encourage cooperation among local residents. Some researchers once believed that social media and online communication would eventually replace many forms of face-to-face interaction. However, evidence suggests that public spaces continue to play an essential role in community life. Despite these advantages, maintaining green spaces can be challenging. One issue is land availability. As cities expand, there is increasing pressure to use land for housing, retail centres, and office developments. Another major challenge is funding. Local authorities must decide how to divide limited budgets between parks and other public services, such as transport, education, and healthcare. To address these challenges, many cities have adopted innovative approaches. Some have introduced rooftop gardens, while others have expanded roadside planting schemes. In several cases, former factories and unused industrial areas have been transformed into public green spaces. Singapore is often highlighted as a successful example of integrating nature into urban planning. In conclusion, urban green spaces contribute to healthier lifestyles, stronger communities, and more sustainable cities. Thank you for listening.